Hello everybody, welcome to Full Time Devils. My name is Stephen Howson and this is the Full Time Review. Chance for you guys to have your say, and loads of you have been having your say in the comments, and I'm going to get stuck into those. What we've got coming up today then is we've got Jose Mourinho's press conference following the Wolves game. We've also got Fancams from outside Old Trafford, and we've had a lot of lads send in stuff for United on YouTube as well. So first things first then, let's talk about Paul Pogba's quotes. And again, I think they've been slightly taken out of context. Mourinho said very much the same thing, which you'll see in a couple of seconds when I cut to Jose's presser. What Pogba actually said was, it sounds like this was in the mix zone. This has come from the Telegraph, and it's everywhere today that this is going out. So I'm not the manager. I cannot say that. But obviously we should show more option of playing. But I cannot say that because I'm a player. That's my way of thinking. We should move better. We should move more. Yeah. Now, that was in response to being asked if there should be more movement ahead of him when he's playing. Now, that was something that a lot of people in the fan camps picked up. It was something I picked up myself, that there was just a real lack of movement ahead. I thought it was one of the poorest, if not the poorest game I've seen from Lukaku. I thought the entire forward three was very disappointing. I thought what happened is, the Wolves defence pushed them back because it's quite a high line, but they make the pitch really compact. It's very reminiscent of what Sachi's Milan did in a completely different formation. They make the pitch very, very small, so it's narrow. The midfield sits right on top of the defence. It denies space to any of your attackers. And the thing that you're supposed to do when that happens is you're supposed to go direct into the channels. Now, Jesse Lingard and Sanchez both got compacted in and pushed centrally and then pushed back and got nowhere near where they were supposed to. If you look at the pass maps of where United played the ball, there's stuff like Stat Zone where you can go and see every single pass being played. It's just outside of the area. It's just owned by United passing the ball all over the place. We had 2/3 possession against Wolves. And all we did was just sort of knock it around the edge of the box without any sort of penetration. We like people who are going to pick the ball up and just drive forward with it. That commits players. That makes people come towards you, and that's how gaps start to form. We have got the ability to play quick one-touch football and get in behind the team. We have got the ability to do things like that, but we weren't doing that. And I think lots of us picked up on the lack of movement. I'll finish off on the rest of the quotes from Pogba then. So he says, I know I lost the ball for their goal. Then there were a few more mistakes and not a lot of movement in front because we didn't really put them in trouble. We are at home and we should play much better against Wolves. When we are home, we should attack. That's Old Trafford. We are here to attack. I think teams are scared when they see United attacking. That was our mistake. Now, this has been painted, as always, as an attack on Jose Mourinho. And I've seen some of you guys in the comments as well saying, Jose tells the players to defend. For most of that game against Wolves, we had one player in our half. Can you please explain to me how this is Jose Mourinho telling players to defend? Did you see anything on Wednesday night when you saw Manchester United take the field against Young Boys? Did you see anything after the first goal that we was like, right, sit back now? Did you see anything at weekend after the first goal where we looked like we sat back? Because I don't. I think United went for it in both of those games. We were just unable to do so. And I agree with what Jose Mourinho says, which we've got coming up in a second, talking about the attitude of the players. Lukaku looked tired. He looked lethargic. Where was the killer instinct when the ball drops in front of him and Bolly gets in and takes him out before we get anywhere near it? Like, Lukaku should have just lunged at that ball, thrown his toes on it or anything to try and get that out of there. There just wasn't enough for me from those players. I thought the midfield looked good. Fellaini, I didn't think was going to be the right man against Wolves. I thought he had a very good game. But if you look at the actual goal that we concede, yes, Pogba's messing around with it. But Pogba's messing around with it in the middle of the pitch. He is a risk player. You want Pogba to be doing things like that. That's how he is as good as he is. Fellaini as a number 6 didn't technically do his job. Now, I'm not admonishing what Pogba did at all. It was his mistake. But you should be allowed to make mistakes and lose the ball, especially in midfield. He didn't lose it in our box. They advance. Fellaini sort of in the defensive line for some reason. The ball goes out to the right-hand side. It comes back across, and it's a millimetre in front of Lindelof and Smalling, who get nowhere near it. Fred's also caught in no man's land, doesn't manage to get hold of Moutinho. It's an error from 4 or 5 different players, but Pogba, as always, is the one that it's pinned on because there is a feud, I think that's genuine, between him and Jose Mourinho. There you go. Let's see what everybody else is saying. Stop the bullshit defending of Jose. I'm not defending anybody. I'm literally just explaining what's happening. And if you're deluded enough to think that he's sending the players out to try and snatch 1-0s at home, then the only delusion's off you. Pogba's just banged out something this morning. Some people make polemic, even from good morning, I don't know what that means, to create drama. Big Pog good morning, everybody. Hope you don't get it twisted, or hope you get it twisted. As usual. It was Wolverhampton, says logical result. What's that got to do with anything? I saw Wolverhampton hold Manchester City, the champions, and supposedly the greatest ever Premier League side to ever walk the earth, hold them to a draw a couple of weeks ago. Don't remember that sort of overreaction just then. Did I see Greenwood Screamers? Of course I did. Sorry, sir. You play according to your game plan at home. Once you've been countered, you change and adapt. What does that even mean? We did change and we did adapt. We changed the system, we changed the personnel, and we flung it forward, ultimately leading to us going along to Fellaini. Let's have a look what the manager's got to say in his press conference, because he's got some really interesting quotes that we're going to have a look at.
Not a good performance, not a good result. A fair result. I think Wolves, by the way they faced the game, I think they deserve, because they play like I like to play, which is like the World Cup final. You know, that's the attitude that I like my teams to have every match. And we didn't have that. They had, we didn't. You know, it's not my biggest names, it's my team. I expect my team to make a better game than we did. You know, if we play against Wolves like we play against Tottenham, I think we win. You know, I am looks a contradiction, but I am more disappointed today than I was against Tottenham, because against Tottenham obviously we lost the game, but I liked very, very much my team performance. And today, of course, we have a better result. 1 point is better than 0, but I didn't like my team. I can't explain a difference of attitude, because I never have a difference of attitude. So for me, it's difficult to explain that. You know, we won 3 matches away. We come home with a good spirit. We come home, let's say, in peace, because we recover, and then you start in a poor way. And I could say, tired, Champions League, awful pitch, the body suffer a different impact than a match in natural grass. Not coming home after the match, I could go in this direction, but we had Lingard and Alexis, they didn't play. Fellaini played 20-25 minutes. Fred played 60 minutes. Valencia also didn't play, so we didn't have a team that was in big trouble with accumulation of matches. So I think is a mental situation, an attitude. And again, one team was coming to play the game of their lives, and another one was too relaxed. You know, but is a situation that the players knew perfectly, that they press in midfield. These 2 Portuguese boys, they are both the kind of player that likes to bite, that likes to short distance, to press. We know that they don't give long time for you to have the ball, to turn, to one touch, two touches. You don't have much of that. So you concede in a situation that is even harder to accept. But that is one goal that you concede, and you have 90 minutes to show a different attitude. And I think we have to do better. It's fantastic news for everyone, not just for Manchester United family. I think for everybody who in the world of football, even in the world, is not happy with Sir Alex back and Howson. So great news for everyone.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you.
Right, that was what the boss had to say. For those watching live, there is a little bit of a sync issue, which YouTube will fix once it's finished processing. So what he said at the start of the press there was not a good performance, not a good result, and I totally agree. I don't think there's anyone going to be sitting here disagreeing with that at all. He goes, they played, he's talking about Wolves, they played like I like to play. They played like it was the World Cup final. We didn't have the attitude. So it's Jose digging out his own players a little bit there, and quite rightly so, as mentioned earlier, didn't really look like the players had that real killer instinct, that real desire to make things happen. He says, I expect my team to play better, to play against Wolves the way we play today. We play against Spurs. We played better against Spurs than we played against Wolves today, and I think you're right. And he said, I could say that the players were tired. That would be an easy excuse, but he also mentions a lot of the players that were featuring didn't play at all on Wednesday night, and there you go. That's the one. People in the comments saying, I've never seen Giggs forced to play inside. You have no idea what you're talking about. Honestly, this is modern football has evolved since when Ryan Giggs was running Norwich defenders in the Premier League. Football has evolved and moved on, and football is 100 times more defensive now than it ever has been. And you're getting absolutely... Nuno Santo's a great manager and a good tactical manager. That's why Wolves are going to be hard to beat, and they're probably going to shock a few people. Their defence did its job, and our players didn't do their job. That's why we came away with a point that feels like a loss. It was Pogba's mistake. He caused the whole problem, says I am Steez. Had he not lost the ball there, the chance wouldn't have happened. Yeah, again, but where do you end it then? If someone has a shot and it ricochets off the post, is it then going down the other end and them scoring? Is that their fault? Sanchez back to Arsenal rumours, true or false? We're not talking about transfers here, mate. Nuno's a special one. Jimenez over Lukaku, absolutely not, my friend. Righty, we have got fan cams coming up. Let's have a look what the lads are saying in the fan cams.
Because we didn't have that pace on the wing, what we were doing, we were just pumping it up or pumping it long to Fellaini. And it was times, I think Fellaini had a good match for me, but you can't, just have that as a plan. We need to get balls in behind them, because when we did, it looked all right.
Martial just isn't a United player. He just doesn't. He hasn't got. He hasn't got the DNA in him. He just. He don't put a shift in.
Don't always get what you want for Christmas. It wasn't the perfect day, but how good was Luke Shaw today? Didn't you think he was brilliant?
I always get what I want for
He's like
Christmas.
a new signing.
So for me, it's Pogba against Wolves. So for me, I feel sorry for Pogba. And
People say he needs to step up. He needs to lead, and he's doing just.
He's the best player on the pitch. Someone else tell me he was a better player than Pogba today. Who else was doing anything? No one.
United have dropped 8 points already in the league, and it is September.
It's not solely down to Mourinho.
We've won one, drawn one, lost one at home.
How do we turn crap as soon as we can see that goal? We were playing fine before the goal. We had control of the game. We were attacking fine. It's not solely down to Mourinho.
Who is it down to?
We just seemed nervous on the ball at home. I felt Wolves were much more comfortable on the ball than we were all game.
De Gea was great. If it wasn't for De Gea, we would have lost this game.
I think he's lost some of the players. People like Pogba. He's going out there and he gets the ball and he seems to be playing for himself.
You come into the ground today, I felt too much negativity around it. Whether that's down to the manager, recent results, the team performances, whatever.
Recent results have been good though.
Exactly, which is why I don't understand why I've come in here today and every single time that someone's missed the place to pass or not got onto the end of a ball, everyone is disappointed and upset. There's too much negativity around the club, and personally, I'm not going to come on here and say that I know all the answers on how to stop it. I'm not going to come on here and act like I know all the answers on how to put the ball.
That's unusual because everyone else does.
Right, that was what everybody had to say in the fan cams. If you'd like to check the fan cams out, then head over to the YouTube channel and you can check those out after you finish watching this video. So in those, obviously, it starts off with Nat saying no pace. We got the guy that was saying Martial isn't a United player. I think that's very interesting. I'm sure all FC are going to get mega triggered about that because you're not allowed to criticise the guy even though he's done fuck all. Shaw wasn't brilliant. So Shaw was brilliant. That was from Sam. Very enthusiastic there about Luke Shaw. And I would agree. I think Luke Shaw has been fantastic for us of late. A real gem in what's been a mega inconsistent season. I think it's that inconsistent really going to hurt us in the long term for this season. We're up against 3 teams that are in the form of their life at the moment, and 4th is probably going to end up looking like an achievement by the end of the season unless we can start to turn it around. D saying there that he felt sorry for Pogba because he was the only one that was pulling up a little bit of spark. To an extent, that's quite true. I thought Fred looked good for the time that he was on. I also thought that Pereira did look good when he came on, and I'm hoping that's Pereira sort of forcing his way back into Jose Mourinho's plans just a little bit, and we'll see what's going down with that one. We have got United on YouTube, and these lads have done a cracking job sending us in some brilliant 30-second reviews, and I'll tell you how you can get involved in those in a second. Let's have a look at those.
What a disappointing result for United, especially considering we took the lead.
Uzi, this isn't a retro. That's why it's a bit tight. I'm uber pissed off with that result, guys. I'm proper pissed off.
All that positive energy that we've had from the previous wins has all been sucked out of the club.
Average, very average performance from us. I don't know what happens to us when it comes to these smaller teams. We just don't finish them off.
To be honest, I thought we were pretty poor. Apart from the Fred goal, which I thought was good for his confidence, I thought we lacked a team spirit. I thought it was a team of individuals.
Hello, Full-Time Devils. This is Chris, and I'm here to present my review of the game United vs Watford. So we set up in a 4-3-3 formation. Fellaini, I was skeptical about him starting, but he proved to be a useful cog.
One of our poorest performances so far this season.
We didn't have that spark, that creativity to go and score a 2nd, 3rd, 4th goal after we took the lead.
I thought, again, dances with wolves in it, you know what I mean? That's what I thought it would be. They were wolves in sheep's clothing, so what can you do?
We were lucky to get the goal when we did, against the run of play, and then we pretty much didn't show up for the rest of the game.
The likes of Lingard and Sanchez, we expect more from them, because they haven't scored a single goal until now.
Valencia was rubbish. I know Howson said it in the thing after the game, but for a fullback, for someone who passes the ball forward, to pass the ball backwards more times than he does forwards, is just ridiculous. I just can't believe it.
Was happy to see Fred, Lingard, and wait, we're missing Sanchez. Yeah, well, he was missing through the game. It's alright. The curse of number 7. He was pretty much non-existent throughout the game.
I thought Wolves wanted it more. They played very well, Wolves. They held their shape well at the back and they tried to hit us on the counter-attack and they did that well.
2 steps forward, 3 steps back, innit? So, yeah, feels like we're doing a moonwalk, so I'm a bit pissed off.
Fellaini, I don't know why. Fellaini and Pogba switched. Fellaini was playing more of a target man role before we conceded. Again, before we conceded. Fellaini and Pogba switched.
Opportunity wasted. Yes, we come away with the point, but it's still not good enough, especially if we want to push for the Premier League title.
Lukaku, I mean, he can score 20-25 goals throughout the season, but there is no one to support him. We need goal scorers.
Valencia, he has become so much predictable. He goes into the box, is wasteful with possession, gives it back to Mata, who was playing here, and he goes front, gives the ball back. He never tries to attempt a cross, which is why I'm fed up with him. We need Dallo here.
West Ham away. We've got a burst air bubble. Peace.
United need to forget about this performance and try and move on. Let's go United.
So it finished 1-1, and hopefully United can perform much better in the middle of the week against Derby in the EFL Cup. So thanks for watching and subscribe to Full-Time Devils. Thank you.
Pissed off, it's ruined my night, that it really has. I don't even want to watch the boxing now. I do, but...
Guys, thanks for having us, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Thank you to everybody that sent us a video. Remember, you can get involved with Full-Time Review and send us your 30-second review after the next Premier League game, West Ham, this weekend. And you could be featuring on this, and then some of these guys might be moving into previews and stuff like that with us as well. So let's get stuck straight into it. My guy there with the whiteboard. John Shin's the whiteboard guy. Are you really challenging John Shin? We might have to do a poll for this. Who's going to be better there? New whiteboard guy or the old whiteboard guy in John Shin? It's a big title to take there. But what I will say is, I absolutely disagree with you that Fellaini and Pogba had switched positions prior to that. I just watched the whole 6 minutes, 7 minutes prior to Wolves' goal to see if that was the case, because I didn't think they had, and I saw a couple of people had mentioned that, so I've just went and rewatched again the first 6 minutes following half-time, and they've not switched. A couple of times Fellaini does come late back post when we bang a cross in, but they've not switched positions, and actually when Pogba does lose the ball, you'll see Fellaini still behind him. He's actually in the defensive line, he's not even in the number 6 position. That's how deep he is at the time. After they scored, not long after they scored, we did push him forward, and then we changed tactic and went a little bit direct to him, which I don't usually agree with us doing that, but such is life. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Yes, the audio delay should be sorted once we finish processing the video. Unfortunately, it's a little bit out while we're live. Jelly says, under Jose we would manage 1.8 goal a game. Jose knows we cannot attack, so he wanted a good defence for us to be winning 1-0. Now, I also saw a comment a second ago saying, how can Wolves have a better defence than us? Well, you've got, on one hand, you've got people complaining that Jose's parking the bus. On the other hand, you're saying, how can teams have a better defensive system than us? Wolves at times had a back 9. They have a super compact line. It's a back 3, which collapses to a 5, and then when the midfield sits right on top of it as well, it becomes like, you know, a 9 almost. It's an extremely compact system. They have 34% possession at Old Trafford. That was how you define parking the bus. You hit them on the counter and you try and create chances that way. That is parking the bus. I thought you didn't want that. People tell me they don't want that, but now they're praising Wolves for doing that. Don't get it. Bench Sanchez, what has he done better than Depay, says Neil. You got a very good point. And then when you see Memphis move on and pull up the sort of numbers that he's been doing at Lyon, you think, yeah, we've screwed up there a little bit. Greg says, love you, Howson. Love you too, brother. Can't see how sacking Jose will fix our problem, says Bionia. Agree. All our attackers are nowhere to be found under Jose. Well, this weekend that was the case, but you know, Lukaku's got 4 goals in 5 games, something along those lines, and something like that. So it's not, you know, it's not terrible. GA says, I don't think Mourinho can win anything easily with these type of players. Wrong manager for the players and wrong players for the manager. That's a good shout, and I think that's why he was looking to sign a couple more, which we didn't quite get. Taufik says, Pogba is a loudmouth baby who, instead of taking responsibility for causing the first goal, he deflects. Our defence sucks, it needs protection, plus we have been more positive going forward this season. Now, I agree with the more positive part, but he didn't deflect, and he literally takes responsibility. Here's the quote: I know I lost the ball. That's I would say him taking responsibility for the goal. Sorry, mate. Fullbacks don't get to the byline, major problem. Yeah, even Luke Shaw wasn't actually getting to the byline. He was only getting to the edge of their box, really. And Antonio Valencia, the less we say about what he was doing on the ball, the better. That was a real audition for Diego Dalot to be taking his place before the end of the season, which we will be talking about after tomorrow's game, because we have got Derby coming up in the Carabao Cup this week. We have got the full match coverage as usual. We've got the preview coming out very soon. So make sure to keep it locked to Full Time Devils for that. Get involved after the West Ham game if you'd like to be featured in United on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching us. Hopefully the sound sorts itself out by the time this video gets uploaded to YouTube. And I'll see you in the next one. Or tomorrow, whatever. Laters.